So going into exactly what the best way to create a loot route is, there's going to be 3 big things that you guys are going to need to do. The first thing you're going to do is go into Fortnite.gg. I have linked this website in the description. You guys should check it out, and you should always consider using it if you are a competitive Fortnite player. Next, you guys are going to be going up to this Tools tab, and you're going to go down to Draw a Rectangle section. And basically, this is going to let you draw a rectangle of any size or shape, basically wherever you want, and it's going to really help you, map out certain areas and figure out exactly where certain members of a team are going to be landing. So in this specific example, I'm going to be mapping out Camp COD for a trio. This means that I'm going to be making 3 separate rectangles for where each member of the trio should land. But keep in mind that there's also going to be 3 drawings that you guys need to make for a proper loot route to be created. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is go onto this rectangle tool and highlight a certain section of your POI that's going to be looted by one member of your trio. I just highlighted this little factory area in Camp COD. This is one place a trio member would potentially land if you are uncontested. And what I would do is I'm going to go to the change color section and I'm going to change this color to blue. Now once this is blue, I'm just going to take the text tool and I'm going to type in a random word. So let's say that I'm playing with somebody named Melody. I'm going to write Melody. So I took Melody and now I'm going to put this right on top of this little area to show that the Melody player is going to be landing there. That's just one example of a player. I know that Melody's an actual Fortnite player who plays the game, but that's just an example and the first name that came to my head. After this, what you guys can do is go back to the rectangle tool and then highlight the other areas of this POI. So for me, it's going to be this little area with this house, this shack, and then this little lakeside dock area. And I'm going to once again change the color, and this time I'm going to be changing it to around a red color. This is going to pop out really well and it's going to highlight a certain area in the best fashion. And then I'm going to once again take the text tool and now I'm going to type my name, which is Sonata, of course. After that, I'm going to go and click onto this tool and just leave it right there. And then for the last one, I'm going to take the rectangle tool again. And then after I'm done with this, I'm going to highlight the area that the third member of the trio is going to land. I can change the color to whatever I want, but for the convenience of this video, I'm going to change it to a light blue type color. This is going to pop quite a bit and it's going to show up really well on this black ocean from the Fortnite map. I'm going to click on draw text again, and then for the last one, I'm just going to put my actual trio member, Gavo. I'm going to click OK and then drag it over to this little area, and then this is a completed loot route landing location chart. This is one of the 3 steps to making a good loot route chart, and I would recommend that you guys try to perfect this for every trio that you play with. Now what you guys can do is go to the snip tool, and then you can click snip, and then you click new, and it's going to highlight your screen where you can basically grab this little screenshot right here and then take a picture of it, and now you have it here. Obviously you can save it to your computer and that's going to help you a lot. Now showing the second aspect of how to create a proper loot route is going to be how to create a loot route that shows how to play when you are contested. Now obviously nobody's going to be uncontested 100% of the time. At least in every single tournament you're going to be contested once. What you guys should do is go back to the rectangle tool and then highlight a certain area where you want your entire trio to land if you are contested. So if you guys are contested at Camp COD, let's say maybe you want your entire trio to land this factory because it has the most chests. Once again, keep in mind that you guys can open this sidebar and then check how many chests are in the area just by clicking on that spawn section, and it's going to show you what the best place to land is. Now, once again, turning off this spawns tab and then closing the sidebar, I'm going to go back to this little area and I'm going to change the color to something that's going to pop once again, like blue is what I would recommend. After, I'm going to say the entire trio should land in this position. I'm going to drag that right here and then pin this right here. And it's also a good idea to potentially create an area of attack that the entire trio takes after you guys are done looting this. Maybe one member can go in this direction where you can make an arrow for that. And then some other member can go over to this dock and maybe stake out that area. And then the final person can remain here and then stay on the roof of this little small area right here. It's always a good idea to do something of this sort of fashion, especially when you guys are preparing for being contested in tournaments. And then after you're done with that, you can obviously screenshot this like I said before, and then move on with the next part of creating a loot route. Now that I'm a little bit more zoomed out, I'm going to be going in depth on what the third part of creating a good loot route is. So one really important aspect is to plan out your rotation after you are done looting. You need to plan a rotation to potentially farm some metal, you need to plan a rotation to get some surge tags, and you need to plan a rotation just in case you guys need to get some kill points during stuff like cash cups. What you can do is go to the little tool, and I want you to select the arrow tool now. What you can do is ping at the small part of your location that your entire trio will be leaving from, and then take your arrow and put it in a location that your trio is going to be rotating for most zones. Now a pretty good example of how to rotate from Camp COD is to take this little tool and then point it in this direction. Obviously Camp COD is in the corner of the map and it's not going to be getting that many zones, So you should try to draw a loot route that roughly indicates the direction you're going to be going most of the time. Sometimes Camp COD does get zones, and it is a good idea to potentially use those zones and play in a smart way to position yourself in Camp COD just in case the end zones do pull there. However, in this situation, let's say that the zone is not pulling Camp COD and we have this little arrow indicating that we're going to be leaving. What you guys can do is put some markers around the area using this marker tool, saying that you can base up here maybe for something, or maybe you could base up in this area near this bridge, or maybe you can even go a little bit farther and then base up towards the Lazy Lake area over here. It's a really good idea to just have a bunch of foolproof solutions to everything that you're doing in game, because then you're never going to really mess up and you're never going to really be in a position where you can't succeed. Once you are done with this is a really good thing to screenshot. You guys can make many more of these like all around the area. You can make one going to Weather Station, you can make one of these lines going over towards this area, and you can even make it going around the map if you want to. It's just a natural good idea to properly map out a certain loot route in rotation after you leave the loot route. And then you can obviously take a screenshot of this once again, and once you guys are done with that, it's going to be the best loot route that you can possibly make. Share this with your trio, it's going to help them out a lot, especially if you are an IGL, keep this in mind. This is what I do with my current trio right now, and I would recommend that you guys do it as well.